The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
But like less than two days ago, like within the last 2 days, I remember seeing posts.
It all comes down to one race. We've been racing since February. We have been eliminating drivers. We have had the most exciting of races, and it all comes down to this: the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Area Truck Series. Who is going to put the crown on, and who is going to get the trophy, and who will be left severely disappointed? Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage, the Area Truck Series Championship Finale, 120 laps around America's home for racing, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck. Of course, I got Brad Dalton, who's been with me for the vast majority of the season. I think all but one of these races, so I mean, Charlotte and the trucks, this is going to be a chaotic race, Brad, and we obviously have a championship. Best of four drivers will take home the crown tonight.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm kind of sad I missed last week at Auto Club. Of course, Hunter here last week for the penultimate round, and well, we're at Charlotte, which is a track that you know you love. It's a really good place for a season finale, if we're honest. There's so many tracks that you can end the season at when you look at it, but I think Charlotte is up there as a great choice here. And well, if you're Garrett Conrath, you're coming in here on a high and you're going to be ready to go. And then, of course, our other three drivers that have been so strong all season, Mercurio, Nichols, and Noel. I kind of wonder for them, what momentum do they have coming in? Of course, Brian Mercurio, the dominant one of the season, 4 wins and 10 top fives. Jake Nichols right there behind. And Jake Nichols, if I am not mistaken, coming in off of a high from yesterday, winning the Pro Series, if I am not wrong there. Which I am not. He's a 4-time Cup champ. He'd love to have a truck championship under his belt. And then, of course, Seth Noel, 1 win, 7 top fives. He'd love to find a little bit more to be here today. And, well, you got to finish. You got to do your best. And we'll find out here in about an hour and a half, 2 hours time.
Yeah, can't win it if you ain't in it, as they always say. And Jake Nichols in a very interesting position because obviously, well, now I know because I didn't get to catch the broadcast yet, but I'll go back and watch it in due course. But he won the championship, and he's eligible for the championship today. And he's also, I believe, eligible for the Thursday championship too. So Jake Nichols has the ability to go for a three-peat, which in a series of this status with the drivers that we have racing in the competition, that would just be probably right up there with winning a Coke championship, in my opinion. Obviously doesn't have the prize and the fame of it, but in terms of talent, I think that would be right up there. But Charlotte Motor Speedway is where we're at. Sebastian Marin, of course, he is the dominator in the Florida State Builders Pro Series. You'll see that finale on Thursday. He's out here to have some fun. Said he doesn't want to get in the way, but if he's leading the race and dominating as he likes to do, I don't think he'll have that problem.
I know Sebastian Marin is such a strong force on Thursdays, and, well, he's been here on Tuesdays, and when he comes here on Tuesdays, he tends to do pretty doggone well. So I have the feeling that he, tonight, to stay out of the way, is just going to stay up front. He's got 5 starts here in the Truck Series for Season 7 and 2 wins out of that with 3 top 5s. So, yeah, Sebastian Marin, I mean, if he's here, you can bet some strong money he's up front out of the way. We'll find out, though, of course, in due time. And, well, we kick it all off with qualifying, Corey, as we do every week. But, I think this qualifying carries a little bit more this week than it normally does.
Yeah, of course, qualifying will be very, very important here. Drivers will get themselves sorted out, and if you are a championship driver, of course, you want to have the track position. Charlotte is a place you can pass, so don't get us wrong there that Charlotte is, like an Indianapolis in the Cup Series, but it's certainly not a track where you can. Well, Jeremy Miller, you're not going to want to do that. But it's going to be a pack-oriented race. Handling will come into play, so I think you're going to want to be in the top 10, top 15, if at all possible here. But I think our championship driver is probably going to go last just to try to get the coolest track temp possible and to have that bar set for them.
Definitely going to be interesting to kind of watch and see who plays what plan when and what the thought process is going to be for everyone for figuring out how they want to strategize this race. Charlotte race is kind of fun, honestly, here in the trucks, and so they can kind of play it a couple of different ways in terms of the strategy. You could sort of play a super speedway layout and just sit back a little bit and then decide at what point do you want to force things forward. You could be really aggressive early on and run through. You can try to make strategy work here tonight. So many different options, and I don't have a good answer for which one's going to work.
First championship driver on circuit here, and just pulling out of the pits, that's going to be Seth Noel, and we'll see what he can muster here, but we got some other times that are coming on in here, and of course, if you're watching here, well, you are watching because you heard me say that. Thank you for tuning in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit the like and subscribe button here. Looking to get 1,800 subscribers, and if you're watching on Twitch, consider subscribing. I know it's probably not the best time to do that because the season's coming to an end, but either way, follow there, and maybe next season you can subscribe, get your emails, get your free merch when you get your points and all that fun stuff here. But Gary Watersworth, he'll go 9th on the board. Brad Slaughter with a 9:02. That'll put him P6. We got Mercurio coming through. Who else do we got? We got Jake Nichols running a time, but I think Seth Noel, actually, he must have had to reset because he was already on a lap, but clearly ain't going to run it this time, bud.
Yeah, definitely something with his lap he didn't like. It does look like he took the reset here. Jake Nichols seems in a good position here. Philip Groner up into P3, which is good to see. Sinisak up into 10th. Jake Nichols will come across the line here. Mercurio's in 16th, and Jake Nichols up to 2nd. Great run from him.
All right, Conrath will go 17. He's still running, and Brian Mercurio 17th. They only get one lap here in area, so that's going to be not the way he wants to start his championship endeavors off here. Sebastian Marin, he's just going to play spoiler. I don't really think you can get much experience to carry over from week to week, but rather the Xfinity car will drive completely different than how this truck races here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But Garrett Conrath, let's see what he can muster. You can see Jake Nichols did run a 90, only 100th off Noel, but David Weishart will interrupt that playoff front row. He'll take that spot, but let's see what Mr. Conrath can do as we go to about a minute left in qualifying.
Conrath ripping the high line here through 3 and 4, looking good. Let's see what he can pull off here as he comes down and go through that restart zone. Dip a little bit of a wheel there, try to get a run. It's a 30.976, and that doesn't sound bad, but that's P16. That's how closely compacted this area Truck Series field is, and that's how closely compacted it's been absolutely all season coming through. Mercurio, by the way, was 3 seconds off the pace of Seth Noel, so Mercurio very clearly had a major issue on his one lap.
Well, actually, Brad, let's look. I didn't get the graphic for it, but because I had made another graphic instead. But we do have the list of EOLs, and we'll take a gander at who is on that list, because that will certainly lead in. We have Jeremy Brown, we have Tanner Bethea, we got Rocky Boyd. Everybody else is not present. So actually, no EOLs of significance there. Sebastian Marin 5th. Casey Lakatos, it's the last race of the season, the penultimate race. He'll race Thursday, but Casey Lakatos, he will be 25th. I only got 2 more races this season that I can roast him on. Timmy Pacioli, he missed last week. Well, he didn't miss last week, but he had a heartbreak. Thought he was going to transfer, but did not happen.
Pacioli not getting a qualifying lap in this week either, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But with that being said, it's now warm-up time, and I got to wonder, going into warm-ups here, Corey, if I am any of our championship drivers, I'm chilling. I'm texting, I'm walking around, I'm doing anything but sitting in this rig right now, because I think the more they drive, the more tense they get, the more they sort of overthink this, the less likely they are to have a good time, and the more likely they are to let mistakes creep in. So I think if you're a championship driver, if you're listening to this right now for some reason, when you should probably be getting in the zone, getting focused, doing the thing you've done for the past 16 rounds, I wouldn't even put laps in. I would get up and walk around.
Yeah, that might not be a terrible idea, is try to unwind and relax and, try to just take a deep breath and get that heart rate down. That certainly could be something of a strategic measure to make here, is again in warm-up session. But now something of note, and I just got it from reading some of the chat, as do not emulate what Mason Kane did if you're going for the championship. But last night's race evidently was decided on a fuel strategy race. That race went, I'm not sure if it went 100% green or just the majority green, but it was a green flag race that was very much influenced by strategy. Given the nature of the trucks and how they race here, I don't think we're going to see that, because this is probably going to be more of a pack-oriented race, but something that you still have to have on the back of your mind.
Yeah, the thing is, too, the trucks drive a little bit different than the cars in that regard. And I mean, I think strategy will come to play, and the thing is with area, we can...
Every cut we go to is a wreck, so hopefully that is not the indicativeness of the race. Let's just take a look at the track test.
That was a slide.
122, so it is a roasty toasty Concord, North Carolina. Of course, our Charlotte Motor Speedway, in case anybody doesn't know what it looks like, which if you're watching this, I don't know why you won't. iRacing measuring this place at 1.46 miles, so iRacing measures tracks based off of the racing line distance, so obviously that's a little bit less than the advertised distance here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but 2 minutes left here in warm-up. We will be here today, and we will be here on Thursday, and this will be the conclusion of Season 7 of Area. We are still waiting on the future status of the league, but if it... Season 8 would be at minimum be starting in 2026. Holy crap, that's kind of crazy to say. But what it's not crazy to say is that, Brad, for the final time this season in the Truck Series, we need to go down trackside for our Central Mobile Homes starting lineup. And of course, if you're looking for a new home, a new shed, or a Triple Crown trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 29 years with a plethora of large and small home floor plans, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomesinc.com for more info, and I think we'll do our Speed World starting lineup, Brad, to get things today started off.
Setting off on pole position for this final run here, it is Seth Noel up in front with David Weishart to his outside there in the low money sim racing truck. Jake Nichols will kick it off in third with Travis Beckner, the Hendry County Motorsports truck, in P4. P5 will be Sebastian Marin looking to spoil tonight with Philip Groner finding his way up in sixth place. P7 on the night is going to find Alex Chilcutt. Can he chill his way forward? And Jonathan Evans will find his way up in eighth place. P9, Justin Anasogak. In 10th place will be Jalen Handcamp.
And starting in the 11th spot, Brad Slaughter Jr. with Jake Fisher to his outside. 13th finds Mason Kane and Rocky Boyd in 14th. 15 is Tanner Love, and then Garrett the Grant in the 16th spot. Jordan Kuntz in 17th with Jeremy Miller out of Burlington, New Jersey in 18th. 19th and 20th finds the championship driver, Jarrett Conrath, and Josh Balliet, or Ballett, or however it is. We've been saying it wrong all season, but he is in 20th.
21st place, Danny Ware. Well, where was he? He was in 21st. Tanner Bethea will find his way in 22nd. 23rd place here is going to be Bryce Sinisak with Caden Diedrich in 24th place to his outside. P25 will be Tyler Hallman with Casey Lackatus, lactose intolerant Casey. Gary Waterworth, P27, and Nico Servideo in P28. Doug DeNice, P29, and Brian Mercurio starting out P30, running for the championship. It's going to be rough.
He's just going for a last to first for the dramatic effect here. We got Matt Batby in 31st. Timmy Pacioli He'll have to patch his race up from the 32nd spot. Josh Parrish, 31st. Ben T. Pierce. The T stands for, I don't think we've done that one all season, actually. We got 120 laps to figure it out. He's 34th. 35th is Forrest Smith, and then Jeremy B. Brown out of Appomattox. That name. Appomattox? I don't know why.
Appomattox.
That too.
Up with half a face.
That too in the 36th position. That is our ESPN Speed World. I've tested it. It doesn't copyright strike me, so I'll have fun with that. But we're going down the Mac straightaway here. Lights are still on, so I think we'll get about two sets of pace laps, because that would be 4. We get 2 pace laps here. Our race details, we have 120 laps, which mathematics will show 120 times 1.5. Cue the calculator, because I can't do it, but 4 sets of Goodyears, that'll certainly come in 180 miles. 4 sets of tires, no backup truck, and I did this, and it still doesn't save. 100% fuel load. Gonna go with about 55 laps, but I have not been privy to anything more specific than that.
I haven't been privy to it either, so I'm going to go with your math. Somewhere between 50 and 55 should get us through. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how things go. And, while we've got this extra pace lap, I'm going to take a second, Corey, and just kind of get in my feelings for a second. It's been such a great season with Area. Been enjoying the truck and the Florida State Pro Series. Kind of sad to see it, kicking off to an end here on this season. Feels like it's been such a short and long season at the same time. And, shout out to everyone at Area for bringing us on board. Jacob, I know you're watching. Thank you for reaching out to us last year and setting all this up. And it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been fun.
It's been a long day. It'll be a long day without you, my friends. We can tell you all about it when we see you again. That's a song of relevance in today's society. But certainly the case here, Area, they work with a channel called Sim TV for a long time. I've been partners with them and worked with them on and off. Kyle Heyer, Finian DeCuna and company. And Kyle obviously has been doing a lot of real world stuff. So they have been on a little hiatus. So glad to take over here, and we'll see what the future holds. But the future holds 120 laps of Area Truck Series action. We got Seth Noel up front and Jake Nichols to his inside in position number 3. That is 2 of our 4 playoff drivers. The remainder will have a lot of work to do to make it happen here tonight. But fans, get your drinks, get your snacks, get ready for a night of fun from America's home of racing, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Where better else to lead a championship down? Let's come through that Geico restart zone, and championship night for the trucks is green, green, green. Let's have some fun.
And everybody gets away pretty well into turn 1 here, keeping it 2x2 to 1, and the 29 holding on here in front as they go. Seth Noel, David Weishart keeping it through, and most of the pack staying 2x2 as they go as we dive down into turn 3. Seth Noel takes the early lead here, just what he wants to do, and David Weishart actually dropping back, going 3 wide here on the exit of... Whoa! Oh, guys, it's only lap 1.
It is indeed the case here. No championship favorites in that 3 wide, but David Weishart, who just wants to end the season on a high note if possible. Beckner showing with that high lane here certainly is able to be run successfully. Weishart getting loose in the middle, almost went down and cut the nose off of Sebastian Marin here, but the top 2 are 2 championship drivers to lead the thing now, to have cleared themselves. And see Alex Chilcutt trying to run the top. You see Jonathan Evans. Remember, he got knocked out of all 3 series in the first round. He's trying to make something happen, too, on the outside.
Yeah, just because you got knocked out of a series doesn't mean that you don't want to drive in and run for a win and some fun. That's the big thing to remember is if you're not a playoff driver, I mean, this is you're racing for a win. You have nothing to lose. The playoff drivers are really the ones that kind of have to keep the gloves on a little bit, I would say. And, if you're not a playoff driver, you can afford to swing a little bit more, pull the gloves off a little bit here and there and do what you can, as we see little wiggle there from Alex Chilcutt going out of 4. He's able to gather it up, but that exit of 4 is tricky, and it's if we ride on board with one of these guys around that exit of 4 here, Corey, the big thing to watch is that the exit of 2, it's it's a gentle exit, but 4, you're exiting and getting ready for the front stretch, and you have to angle that out so it's more than an exit. It's an exit into a turn, and the truck gets really upset on exit here sometimes.
So a little bit of sparks flying there, not from Taylor Swift, but sparks flying up front with that 28 going into lightning mode here. He is coming out of the cannon firing, and that's Travis Beckner. Remember, he needed a win last week. He to transfer into the Final Four, and that was not in the table for him, but he's going to try to go out with a bang here and leading this thing down. Looking at our championship favorites in the back of the field, Mercurio has gotten himself up to the 15th spot, which is a gain for him, and we do have 3 abreast, and I think Conrath is in the mix of it.
Conrath wasting no time to get his way forward. I thought he would be a little bit more relaxed early on. Obviously, I am wrong with that. He's down into 20th place, but maybe he is relaxing here early on in that number 49 truck. Maybe he is just sort of hanging out as we see somebody going real low there in the back. That's at the back of the 20s. I want to say that was Bappy possibly dropping all the way down, just getting out of the way there.
That's trying to get out of the way indeed, but heading up front, and what we're seeing is we're not seeing Alex Chilcutt because he had a little blinky fit there for a second, but what we are seeing is some drivers maybe going a little bit aggressive on the early part of the run, because now Chilcutt has passed Noel, and now here comes the championship battle. Remember, it's not having to win the race, it's finishing the highest of the 4, and you know, they've been talking about the real world. Of course, playoffs has been a real thing in recent weeks here in NASCAR. And we've been waiting for the race that all Championship 4 wreck. And the championship battle is 35th to 39th. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But right here, that championship would be won out of the 3rd spot if this ended now.
Yeah, and that's, so... I know the playoff style setup gets a bad rap, and there's some different things, but it does induce kind of some different strategy. And I think right now, if you're Jake Nichols, you want to get up front early, you want to hold on here early and go through as we watch everybody coming down onto the front stretch there, and that 82 up into 12th place. I mean, he's going to be pushing aggressively and trying to get his way through. Thankfully, in iRacing, there's no weather to cause a caution. There's nothing crazy that's going to go on. We should just see good running all the way to the end here, as Pacioli there is going to go up clear, hold on to it, and man, all these guys are racing hard today.
Yeah, Pacioli, he just wants redemption from a season that he honestly should have probably been in the Final Four, but circumstances just had that not be the case. Timmy Pacioli just trying to make what he can do there, and Mercurio has gotten up to the 12th spot, going a little bit further up, and who's that? I think Weishart is the passee. I'm trying to figure out who's the passer and the passee. Is maybe a little contact there between Noel and Marin. Somebody pulling it down all the way to the flat. I think that's Forrest Smith. Has some damage to the right front and in the pits, but that's of minimal significance right now. Is Weishart going up to 3rd. Looks like that outside lane becoming the dominant lane to make some passes on.
And keeping those passes going, keeping everything moving. I mean, that's going to be the name of the night here for this finale. Lap 11 at 120. Everybody looking fairly stable here. And, everyone's, I think, being just cautiously aggressive the way they need to be. They're sort of running this like you would Daytona, Talladega, just aggressively boring here in the driver's seat. If you think about it, they're racing hard, but nobody's really doing anything that's going to throw, absolute fireworks on the backstretch. Nobody wants to do anything to risk ruining their race early on. Everyone is just driving, within the limit. Nobody's pushing the limit yet. Come talk to me in about 85% of this race through, and that's going to be a totally different conversation. But down the backstretch here, again, you can see them really stretching things out. Just the number 11 there, trying to make the dive there. Philip Groner on the inside of Handcamp, looking to make a move, not able to make a move. Seth Noel holding on in P6. This is really the only battle through the field. Everyone else single file, and even then we go single file. These guys know it's a long race.
And with every lap that goes by, Brad, you start having to plan for your long run strategy. And Auto Club last week, you missed probably one of the most entertaining races we've had all season, Brad. The fuel strategy last week was absolutely insane on Tuesday night, and I know that was emulated here in the Cup Series finale on Monday night. But with every lap that goes by, a wreck becomes less and less likely as they spread out. And with 120 laps, I mean, I would say it's probably a battle between a 1-stop and a 2-stop. I don't see a 3-stop working. So that could be a big situation, and that puts more stress on it. It's not a matter. It couldn't be a matter of just speed winning a championship. It'll be a situation of making that right pit call. That could be a plausible thing tonight.
Yeah, the right pit call is going to be very important, and running, that strategy is going to make all the difference. And how many times this season have we said that Aria's had a great race? I feel like every race, Aria one-ups themselves as they go through. Something I know we haven't really talked about yet here on the broadcast as we go through and watch these trucks bring their way around and just look at it. I love the trucks, and that's a podcast topic, but Coast to Coast in 609, they came in tied for team championship tonight. And the top 2 finishers from each team are going to be scoring the team points. So if you're a 609 fan, you're looking at Miller, Groner, Nichols, and Noel. If you're a Coast to Coast fan, it's the 80s, 80, 82, 84, 86. And that's 60, and the 29. Oh, Corey, they're making me nervous.
Yeah, Chilcott went for the move on the bottom, but that did not work. There's some good defense by Travis Beckner. Now Weishart got second, but Chilcott not wanting to settle with that. Of course, wanting to get that spot back, but now he has Jake Nichols to his rear with Marin in the middle, and then Marin doing a dive all the way to the inside, running the blue line as it is here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and nearly going 3 wide for a millisecond. That fizzles out, though, but here we go for the lead. Weishart has the preferred lane. He got to the outside of Beckner off of 4, and that should be all he needs. He should be able to wrap that around off turn 4, use that momentum, and take it down the back.
Down the back we go. Weishart into the lead, but again, we're just so early in this race here, like 17 to 120. I think if you're Beckner, you kind of just be okay with it for the moment. And never mind, I'm talking about racing drivers, let's be honest. He looked like he was going to go for a dive to the inside out of 4. Couldn't make it stick. You see a little bit of stacking up happening around because who's showing up? It's a 23 Sebastian Marin. Nobody's surprised. Sebastian Marin's fast anytime he gets behind the wheel, and he's worked his way up into P3 here. He's going to work his way around through. Let's see where he can find himself down the inside. So low on that inside line right now. Looking really good and down. Still trying to lock P3, but I tell you what, he's in a great position there. He's got Jake Nichols to the outside, and truck's a little wiggly. It's a little wiggly.
Beckner got that wiggle off of the corner there. Remember, as I expected, he overexerted those tires, and now starting to pay the price for it. Got wiggly, and now he's confined to the bottom. That means he has to put even more steering wheel into it. That means he's going to be even looser on corner exit, as you can kind of see by the little movements there. But he'll get back into lane in front of Chilcott, who had some contact to be made. And that got him into the straightaway wall there. Seth Noel will try to pounce to that inside lane off turn number 4. He's trying to stay in close connections to that number 73.
Let's see how he does staying in connections here, because that's one of those things that you try to do. You want to make those connections. You want to match it like you do tender, but everyone knows sometimes those tender matches flare out. Sometimes you get married to them. Ask my wife about the second option. Clear yourself all the way around. Oh, hard to the wall. That's the 60 of Chilcott. Tap the wall. And
hand camp.
He cleared it back up.
Yeah, I think hand camp in the 60. The back straightaway here at Charlotte is very bumpy, so trying to do a little bump draft down the straightaway, it gets you sorted out all sorts of different ways. We saw that at Auto Club in turn number 3, how rough that backstretch was at Auto Club last week with the bump drafts and the situations that came. But Jake Nichols, and this is, I can't play the song. It's my favorite sports song of all time. It's called Heart of a Champion, but it's the royalty rights for it are way too expensive. But this is the heart of a champion right here. He dropped back. He saw what was happening. He saw these guys running too hard, burning their tires up, let them go, only because he knew that in a few laps he'd get them right back. Jake Nichols back to P1.
Jake Nichols all the way back up there. Great run there from 609. And, hey, the hollow points that they need right now is well.
Oh, no, Weishart in the wall.
Ooh, hard hit to the wall there.
And I don't see any appreciable damage, at least visually, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Let's go to our Hendry County Motorsports Park replay. We are under caution We'll sort out this replay because we're already watching it, and then we will try to catch our caution. Yeah, he just got loose by himself. We are under caution. I'm trying to sort out what may have instigated said caution. Looks as though it could be Nico Servideo. And I believe it is Nico Servideo.
And did this stem from what happened before? Or was this its own separate
No, we're getting
incident?
The 12. Oh, so Nico Servideo had issue, but it stemmed actually from Gary Wattersworth there. So Jacob Bell had been already giving him the bad rap on the incident, giving him the +2 on the clock there. But let's take a look what happened to Wattersworth off the corner. Oh, he got loose. Senesac, innocent victim. Servideo, I think, just kind of reactionarily wrecked himself there. Doug DeNice may have hit the wall as well, but that is our first caution of the race via our Hendry County Motorsports Park replay. And we will head to the pits using most likely our first set of Goodyears here on the evening.
Yeah, fall off has been very, very strong here. Well, very weak, but there's a lot of it. Okay, words are complicated. There's a lot of it here going through. I'm going to say that this is the first stop of at least 2 from drivers. Jacob Bell, I'm ripping that from you. I'd almost argue that if they get an excuse to get a third pit stop, they'll take it. And look at that rush off of pit road.
Sebastian Marin going top of the board. Well, actually, I guess that was short-lived, actually. Is Sebastian Marin actually P1 right now? Waiting for scoring to update. And yes, he is. Sebastian Marin, top of the board here on lap number 24, getting out of the pits faster and taking full advantage of it. So we'll see how that comes into play here. But of course, for our the final time this season, we'll be doing an ad read, and that is going to be for Hendry County Motorsports Park. Racing is on temporarily on hiatus there, but they are the southernmost dirt track in America. They'll be back September 20th. Tickets are $20 for kids. Well, $20 for adults. Kids age 5 and are getting free. A family pack of 4. That will be only $25, and that is in Clewiston, Florida, off Highway US 27. HenryRacing.com. I know we were privy that they are doing some kind of fun run, which is in the middle of August. So you can check out their calendar on socials, but that is HenryRacing.com.
I love Hendry County. They're such a good sponsor of the league, and they've been fun to kind of watch. And I've looked up some of their racing on YouTube. They've had some good stuff happen this season. So if you can get out there this fall, I'll definitely recommend it.
Absolutely the case here. Clewiston, Florida. I'm going to, as our old friend, as our PTR TV friend Andre says, Papa Goog. I don't actually know where it is in Florida, to be honest with you, but I've only been to Florida twice, and the only times I went to Orlando and Daytona. I am not very geographically educated, but it's obviously down south, because that's what the ad says.
It is just northwest of Fort Lauderdale. So, I mean, it is...
Don't know where that is, but as I pop a goog...
The tip.
Oh, that's right. That's right by that little lake thing, Lake Okeechobee, that big lake, the eyeball of Florida. That's what I used to say. Just on the south of the eyeball of Florida.
Yeah, not that far away from Pompano Beach. For those of you who might be familiar with some aviation YouTubers who fly out of Pompano Beach.
Yeah, that would not be me, but I do like aviation, but podcast topics, but that is not here. Sebastian Marin, the guy who has won a ton of races this season, I think 7 or 8 across the 2 series we cover, is our leader, gets the green flag going. Big wiggle on throttle from Seth Noel. That gives the 73 the whole shot for second anyways, and then Travis Beckner going to try to go 2 for 1 and take that away from Noel as well.
Seth Noel, that was a hard wiggle there, very clearly struggling on the tires on restart and still wiggling through 1 and 2.
Back of the pack.
Gathers it up.
Someone is way off the pace in the back of the field here. That's Jake. That's Jake Fisher. I don't know why he's so off the pace, but that stacked things up. But everyone's seeming to progress decently here. But Brian Mercurio he's going for the championship, but he knows that he needs to get in good track position. He doesn't want to race this from behind. He wants to get in close sequencing to those favorites up front. Alex Chilcutt ahead of him. Mercurio up to 8th. He sees more in front of him. The risk versus reward is huge right now for him.
That it is, but I mean, he kind of is starting to get into a position where he's got to start playing the risk. I mean, we're lap 27 to 120.
Conrath just kissed the wall.
Conrath, I tell you what, I have a feeling that he'll do that more than once today. I have a feeling that all these drivers will do that more than once. The matter is, how well they do, but that's the problem with the Highline in Charlotte, honestly, is that it's very easy to do that right there, and Mason Kane did it too.
Yeah, hopefully that was something that is just a kind of a visual thing rather than anything tangible here. Looking at that right front, I think it's all right, so hopefully that is indeed the case here. Jalen Handcamp, where in the world did he come from? But he is going for the race lead here. Again, some of these drivers who are just, they're going full bananas. They're getting everything that those Goodyears will offer them on the opening couple laps, and then they're just kind of going into survival mode for the rest of it. But he wants the race lead, and this is a battle for the second place in the championship. Mercurio going for the spot, but he is kind of stuck behind Alex Chilcutt right now. That's stunting his momentum, but now Chilcutt's going to block in the 1, but Chilcutt will now make an aggressive move to get right in front of the 82 car truck.
I think the good thing, too, for both Mercurio and Noel is that Chilcutt's internet seems to have chilled and cut out what it was doing earlier of blinking around, wiggling around. And look at this. Chilcutt going to try to go up the inside of Jake Nichols. 3 playoff drivers in the shot here going through.
Here we go.
And this is all technically your battle for the championship. Mercurio down the inside here, coming to the start line, and Mercurio will get past Nichols. And now Mercurio is in control, starting all the way back near the rear of the field, and now he is the man with the keys.
Yeah, he's the man, he's the man, he's the man. At least at the time being that he is. He's going to leave that outside open. And you have to wonder, what is the strat for Mercurio now? So we're hearing, Jacob Bell telling us here from the back end that most people think it's still going to be a 2-stop race. Maybe you could go a little bit harder early, depending on when you would plan to make another pit stop. Again, this is all caution-free depending. But how hard you race now might be depending on, do you think this is going to go green, and when do you plan on making another pit stop? A ton of variables, and with a championship on the line and all these different situations to consider, I'm not envious of those drivers, but who I am envious of is the 67, who's going for the lead down to the inside. Handcamp trying to make it work. Marin playing the defense up top.
Aaron absolutely shutting the door there, coming on the front stretch, going through, making sure Handcamp knows to stay behind there. And look at this, the A10 Warthog going for the bombing run up the inside. The 26 there, Jonathan Evans, gets a great run there, drops the 73 back behind him. 73 will get it back on the outside, and he will pick the smart decision. Jonathan Evans will slot back in, sneak his way through, and try to line up another bombing run if he can find it here as they go up front here, checking back in around, and a bit further back as well. Garrett Conrath just very patient and quiet in P12. He's not really stirring anything up. Of course, again, coming off the momentum of the win last week, I think Conrath is just going to be feeling really good. He's going to know that he doesn't need to push anything yet. We're only a quarter race distance through, so he's not really going to feel too much pressure right now.
And if you just think of what we saw at the Cup Series race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Bubba Wallace ended up winning that race, and he was a fast driver, but he wasn't in position to win that race until probably about 40 laps to go, 30 laps to go. So where you are right now is not indicative of where your race will end, as there was a wiggle there as we're kind of looking through the field here. So showing some drivers we haven't followed. Jordan Kuntz, he was a playoff knockout as of last week. Josh Parrish there. Who's that? Matthew Batby, someone who's also a playoff knockout there, trying to represent the Hendry County Motorsports Park vehicle there, but currently the person who is trying to do that the best is Garrett Conrath. But Mercurio is only up by, 1 truck length over Jake Nichols. Again, that is our temporary battle for position. Nichols going to try to run the top, see if he can get some momentum up there.
Yeah, I don't think the top is going to be full of momentum, but it's never a bad decision to try it through 1 and 2. I don't like the top out of 4 personally, just because, again, as we've seen all the drivers do, the ones that go way up top tend to hit the wall there on the exit of 4. So I don't like the top through 3 and 4, but through 1 and 2, it can be pretty quick, and it can be something that you can kind of build up a head of steam on if you're feeling comfortable with it, and especially if you have a friend that goes with you and you don't just run it solo. But right now, I think you're hard pressed to really find anyone who's not just going to settle into that line and run through. And, you know, nobody wants to do anything solo. If you're the 71 here, I mean, you're running with a group of friends. This is further back in the pack, just where some of the craziness is happening. Things just haven't settled down back through here. About P14 back on your screen right now, where things haven't settled in. Mercurio not settling in either. Look at this. Good pass up the inside.
Yeah, trying to get by Chilcutt here in the 73. You know, it's one thing to win the championship finishing 5th, but it's more fun to win the championship by winning the race and getting the 2-for-1 celebration special here. He's trying to make that move there on Chilcutt, but Jake Nichols sees the opportunity to get to the outside, and Mercurio could have shut the door, but decided it's a little too early for, even in this situation, to make that risky of a block. And now Nichols is going to use that outside squeeze to the exit off turn number 4, and if this was lap 120, we'd have a championship change.
If this was lap 120, Mercurio would not have let Nichols by without a much harder fight. I think Mercurio just wanted to spook Nichols into lifting out of the throttle, and Nichols just didn't. So I think that's really where that one came from here, going through and just watching this battle continue. Chilcutt and Handcamp ahead, really duking things out. That 26 of Jonathan Evans really watching this as well. And meanwhile, Sebastian Marin just, has opened up the throttle, dumped out the lead shot, whatever you want to call it, and he is taken off here, half a second and gaining up in the front.
Now, last time around, he was actually quite slower compared to Alex Chilcutt, interestingly enough. I think that may have just been a one-off lap, but you could see a 39, and some of the, like Mercurio battling, he ran a 52, almost 0.2 of a second slower. But Jake Nichols, remember, what did he do the first run? He fell back, and then right around this point in the run, we're about, 16 laps in, this is where his advantage came back into play, and you can see he's starting to do that, even making a pass. He's actually faster than Marin last time by, so imagine what that 73 is going to do in clean real estate if he can run faster than the leader while he's in an active battle for position.
And this is going to be a good race here. 41 to 120. We're a third of the way through here, and you can watch the battles just continue to develop here. Jake Nichols up into 3rd. Mercurio settled into 5th. Handcamp looking for a bit of a switch out of 4 there, going high to go low. Back in the back. Big wiggles there coming through. That is the 81 of Brad Slaughter Jr. with a good little wiggle, but he was able to gather it up here and continue his fight forward, trying to get past the 49 of Garrett Conrath. Garrett Conrath ripping the high line there through 1 and 2. And looks like he'll clear this out, get this run, and he needs to start working his way forward a little bit sooner, I think. You got those top 3 up there, and I don't know, again, maybe Conrath isn't worried about it, but I'm kind of worried for Conrath. Maybe I'd want to be more towards P10 and forward right now.
Yeah, I was worried for him once the qualifying effort was what it was, and obviously having to work through the field. Mercurio has done it with, dare I say, relative ease, but certainly has done it much faster. But he is in a very precarious spot here with this aggressive battling. As you said, Marin has just drove off into the proverbial sunset here. And this is the battle for second as Jake Nichols trying to make it happen, trying to use that long run pace that he has kind of set himself up for. But the longer you run, the harder it is to keep that truck on the blue line, the more dominant that outside lane becomes.
And as that outside lane just ramps up, it's going to be such a good, a good strategy call. We talk about fuel, we talk about tires, and I think lane choice really plays into the strategy as well. So we watch through. Chilcutt with a sneaky little move there down the backstretch, going through. I didn't like it. I don't think Nichols liked it. Nichols said, all right, if that's how you want to race me and I'm racing for a championship, get the heck back behind me.
Saw some smoke there. I think that was in the form of Jonathan Evans there, but nothing of significance here. But going back to Garrett Conrath, who's in that active position, battling with Mason Kane. Remember, he won the Daytona race, and kind of just chugged through the rest of the season with that playoff spot. Didn't have a great run, but I know you said that he was adamant. He was going for it. It was going to be his, but that didn't come to fruition.
That's the thing with the playoff run is, you can say, hey, this is my championship. This is mine to run. I'm the strongest driver going through. But with the playoffs, you have one bad weekend and your playoff run is completely done. And unfortunately for Mason King, that's kind of what happened. He's been a strong driver overall through the season, doing fairly decent and consistent time and time again. But, ultimately with that playoff setup, once he won Daytona, he kind of just chilled through the season as we're 3 wide with Seth Noel on the bottom. I don't like this, but Pacioli, the What's on Tap truck.
Whoa,
what's
watch
on tap?
those hands.
Oh, What's on Tap was about to be the bumper of that truck.
Yeah, the old Austin Hill, he's got the white gloves. And that showed us how yeehaw that truck was off turn 4. And fighting that steering wheel, trying to keep a smooth, steady wheel. That's how the momentum is built up. That's how the tires are saved. But sometimes you got to yeehaw there, and yeehaw it with a guy going for the championship. Certainly a position you don't want to be in. But here we go. Another battle for the provisional championship right now. Mercurio is trying to... No, I think actually Mercurio has it and Nichols wants it. I think they flip-flopped, if I'm not mistaken, using that outside lane as a 73.
Going through side by side through 1 and 2 they go. The 82 holding that low line as he's done in that Rebel Rabbit Seltzer number 82. That 609 Motorsports 73 up high. And remember, 609 is also fighting for the championship against Coast to Coast. And, well, who's the team championship leaders right now? It's the 82 and the 73. So remember, these two, how they finish ahead has bigger implications than just the Drivers' Championship. It's the team championship where there's a lot to be lost as well going through. So watch them as the 82 squeezes the 73 on the exit there on the front stretch down into 1. You can do that. You might as well squeeze them, see if he'll back out of it, but it's championship night. Nobody's scared of nothing.
Yeah, they are going for it here. They're going to give each other some space now, but as you said, as the laps tick away, less and less space will be given. You have to race hard, but at the end of the day, if you both wreck, you got Seth Noel, who has dropped back to 6, but if anything happened with them two, he's in the catbird seat. Conrath just doesn't seem to have it, not for lack of effort. Just, some tracks are just not your forte, and you just don't have the best speed, you don't have the feel, you don't have the comfort, seeming that for the 49. But I got clipped in the broadcast last week that it was going to take a crazy situation, a Herculean effort. It was going to take the most utmost situation to happen for Conrath to win. And the guy won the race. So don't count him out early.
So you called Conrath down and out before, and he came out and won the race and transferred through.
He was in the wall, and he was in 30th. And he pulled the wild card. He went for the fuel, and he had enough fuel to win the race when everybody else pitted. So when you can't win it on speed, you find other ways to win it. And this race does have, as he said, the plausibility to turn into a pit strategy race. How many tires do you take? When do you pit? Do you pit early? Do you pit late? And this has the position to throw things upside down and surprise us.
So a little bit of background info, too, for you. Getting some stuff behind the scenes. On that pit stop cycle, we were being told potentially 2 more stops from there. So a 3-stop race, not even a 2-stop race, which I think I might have said that I could see drivers doing 3 stops. And based on the tire fall off, based on the wiggling, based on just the pure run of trying to survive the conditions here, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Garrett Conrath is putting in that strategy game right now to make those 2 stops work and get him up into the front. Meanwhile, maybe Mercurio and Nichols aren't saving near as much. And I'm not saying Conrath is saving a lot.
2 seconds
maybe
off.
Conrath is saving a little.
Yeah, we're 2 seconds off, Brad. So remember, if somebody pits early, that's 2 seconds a lap that they're going to gain. And we've seen strategies vary by, 10 laps. So you'll see situations where drivers get a 15, 20-second lead because they pit early. And then the question is, can the other drivers get into that lead before the next cycle of pit stops? And sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is no. No way to really know the definitive on that. But Seth Noel, he's trying to get 5th from Alex Chilcutt. Again, looking to the inside as we are now approaching 30 laps into this pit cycle here. So we're down 2 seconds. We have just about 65 laps to go. We're gonna need, actually from this juncture, Brad, we're 30 laps in. If we can go, I'd say to lap 70, it's a one-stop race from there.
Yeah, but I think that's the question then. I don't think fuel's the issue. I think tire wear is really where guys are finding problems. And I think it depends.
That's Alex Chilcutt.
That's the 60 in the wall.
And stay up there. You got trucks going down. You got trucks getting by. But let's sort out on our Hendry County replay what happened to the Hendry County Toyota. And this is with Seth Noel, championship driver. Oh, they contact on the straightaway. Seth Noel's truck seemingly looks all right, but not a situation you want to be in as the championship driver.
I'm not going to say one came down or one came up. I'm just going to say that was hard racing, and I'm very thankful that I'm not in the admin tower ever, because I don't want to be the guy to make that call, especially not against Seth Noel.
Exactly that here, but as this race continues on, Brian Mercurio has the edge over Jake Nichols. Things are getting spicy, and if you like spicy things, head to rickshotsauce.com for the best hot sauces from South Florida, Lokahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, South Beach Heat. We can congratulate John Hall for winning that Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year $100 in the Cup Series via his performance on the IDK Player Channel last night, and of course throughout the season. And again, rickshotsauce.com.
Tell you what, I don't know if you need hot sauce for this race, as we're about to hit half race distance, lap 58 out of 120 coming through. My dinner tonight could have used a little bit of hot sauce, though. I need stir fry. Podcast topics coming out here and there. The 60 going to try to work his way back up here to get back in that front battle. Sebastian Marin almost a second ahead up front, just running his own little race. Beckner looking for a move on Weishart, the 29 and 28, not making any moves, thinking about
caution.
Caution. Oh, that changes everything.
Josh Parrish, you can't park there, bud. Truck
He's
looks
not parked. He's just slow rolling.
Yeah, truck looks all right. Did he just do a save of saves here? We'll sort it out on our Hendry County replay. Who is he battling with here? Battling with the 87 truck. And that's one of those classic, Jeremy Brown. It's one of those classic high-lows. That save, reminiscent of Jimmy Johnson saving it on the front stretch at Dover back in the mid-2000s. He should, by all accounts, have hit something.
I'm not convinced you could have put a piece of paper between him and the wall. Look at this. So the 87 there with the 55, and here's your spin starting. I mean, yeah, no, I'm not going to... Post-race, we're going to have to go back and look at that, because I'm convinced you couldn't put a piece of paper between him and that inside wall. That is a good doggone save.
Giving it to the 87 of Jeremy Brown there for the incident dockings right there. So this puts us in an interesting position again, Mr. Brad, because we are 60 laps in. Again, we haven't been privy to exact numbers of pit stops and pit laps and all that fun stuff, but I have just a gandering, not a gander outdoors, but I have a gandering that this is going to be right on the number.
Do we think fuel will make it even if tires don't? And are any drivers going to be absolutely flabbergastedly insane enough to try to make it on fuel alone and not tires?
I mean, I've been surprised, Brad, that, tracks that back in the day, I thought that 60 laps was fine on a mile and a half, and it seemed like 52 to 55 has been more of the normality. I thought that 43 laps closer to 50 laps at Auto Club was good, but no, 42, 43 was what we ended up running. So I guess we'll do what we like to do. We'll be nosy here. Let's check out. Yep, hard saving. They're down there in the 1000s. That means they are hard saving. Or as Freddie Kraft told Bubba to do, save for your life.
being told potentially
seven
laps short.
That's crazy, man. That it takes the truck fuel mileage must have gone down since I used to watch. Maybe the horsepower has gone up since back in the day, but I don't know. But either way, so that would mean that if there's one person in this race that has any reason to try, it's that number 49, because clearly he's not going to win it on speed. But he's not trying that hard, because if you're hard saving, A, you're clutching it, and B, you're in fourth gear to the last possible moment. So Conrath is maybe he knows that there's no chance, and he's not even going to waste his time with it.
I mean, I wouldn't waste my time. 7 laps of saving, I would not.
That's one caution.
Be doing it.
One caution. That's basically puts you within 3 laps, and actually 3 laps. I don't even think you could save 3 laps, but maybe you can.
I would not be trying it. Here's the thing is, if the tire wear wasn't so substantial, I would try it. I think the tire wear being where it's at, I mean, after 15 laps, these guys are losing 1.5 seconds on brand new Goodyears. I don't think it's worth it. I think if you were like 1 lap, 2 laps of saving, go for it. But 7 laps of saving, you couldn't pay me enough.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll see what the deal is. And we're all going on the inkling that a caution won't come out and interrupt things. But as we've seen, that is not always the case. We'll come back into that Geico restart zone. Mercurio to the outside. And Marin, our control car, leading this restart. He gets on that loud pedal, gets going. Mercurio struggling on that outside restart. That should give a good advantage to Jake Nichols.
A great advantage there coming around. Just see what happens, and it kind of stabilizes out here between the 82 and the 1. Mercurio and Noel still trying to figure it out and run their way through and continue along. Let's see what happens here to the inside. Noel goes. Mercurio holds high, and Evans, it looks like, is going to stay with Mercurio there. Midline coming out, and again, everybody there exiting, just squeezing that wall, getting what they can out of it, cross the line, and well, Marin's going to try to take off, and Nichols just wants these two to keep fighting in his mirror.
Well, Brett, I've already deduced here something that will be of interest that should affect this as Garrett Conrath gets into the top 10 for the first time tonight. He got the restart that he needed now going to the outside of Philip Groner, but for the majority of these drivers that are not even going to try to save, that means they only need to go 25, 30 laps before they pit. That means you don't really need to save as much. You don't need to prep for a long run. So I think these drivers are going to be even more aggressive, knowing that the tires don't need to go as far this run.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, if you know you don't have to go near as far, just get that bit more aggressive going through. And you can see that what's on tap truck back there, Pacioli, it seems like has checked into that sign going through. And Nichols and Mercurio definitely have signed up for the, okay, you guys said be more aggressive. You want some more aggressive? We don't have to save tires if we're aggressive and, you know, save fuel and do all the things. Let's just run this thing out. And that's what they're doing here. And again, remember, they're also, there's the team championship implications between those two, depending on who finishes ahead of whom. That might shake up the team championship and absolutely turn it on its head. You never know. So you got to watch those two, because there's so many things riding on where those two finish and who is ahead of whom when it's all said and done.
Who's ahead of whom? That's certainly going to be a discussion point. And if you're looking for a discussion to kill some time on the way to work or at your job, if you have that kind of job where you can put some AirPods in, listen to the High Banks podcast. Nick and Alex talking about NASCAR and more. Episode 228 has Jacob Bell. Perhaps they'll need to do a new episode to help feature the future of area. But that is the High Banks podcast, available on Spotify.
Banks here around Charlotte, continuing along, trying to find runs where any drivers can, and we're starting to hit that single file run as we go through. I think the most has been given of what guys can, and now they've started to hit that little bit of survival stage. Right as I say that, though, color me wrong here, because in front of the 86, that is the 49 and the 67 battling it out here. Conrath trying to get his way forward a little bit, and Handcamp wants forward as well, and it looks like they will settle things out. Conrath up in the 7th, though, just Mr. Steady, Mr. Consistent. We're just into lap 68 of 120, so, I mean, Conrath is still in a great position right now.
Yeah, I mean, he has shown. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he's learned something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the wick has turned up in that number 49 camp here on the back end of the race. But you can see 2, 3, 4 championship eligible drivers, and then Evans and Handcamp in the middle. Handcamp has certainly been kind of a come out the gate hot and fall back style driver here in this race. I'd say the 26 has been a little bit more steady with his performance here. But here we go with another move. It looks like Mercurio is trying to get that spot back using the outside. I'd give him the upper edge. I'd give him the line. I'd give him the opportunity here in 1 and 2. We'll see if the 73 can hang on down low.
73 coming through around. I mean, hold on where you can. And behind them, look at Seth Noel trying a slightly different line there on the high line. I mean, he's running out from these two. And are we going to have championship 3 wide? I certainly think it's coming. 82-73, hold on. The one had a great run into 3 here on the exit of 4. He's going to have a run. No. He's going to send it all the way down under the apron, come through 3 wide across the line. And right now, Seth Noel into the grass. Is this going to wipe out the championship contenders?
Did it.
How did he do it?
Now he's going to go up. He's going to shut the door. Bob's your uncle. 2 for 1. Seth Noel. He's going to stunt the momentum of Brian Mercurio. We have to check that out on our Hendry County Motorsports Park replay. Not a move you see very often, especially in this situation, to take that risk. But using that AstroTurf that Charlotte provides, not any risk to going down there in the grass, and managed. He went twice. Now that is a literal pass in the grass. Dale Earnhardt sort of did it here, even though not really, but that actually would be a pass in the grass.
Have you ever?
Well, I guess debatably once or twice, but not on this kind of a stage.
Listen, I've always been told that grass and iRacing is an immediate death sentence. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. AstroTurf is something else, man. If you can get away with that, I'm scared. But Seth Noel has said, hey, I'm number 1. No Madden curses here tonight. I want number 1 up into second place, and is closing on Marin. Look at this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing Nelly on Sunday night. Nelly, I am number 1, 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers. Couldn't be any more accurate there than in this race here today. But Jake Nichols says, you pass me down low, I ain't going to go down without a fight. But again, a lot to play for. Of course, the championship, of course, the money, of course, the team championship, but also knowing that a pivotal pit stop remaining left in this race. It ultimately is what took Timmy Pacioli out last week at Auto Club. He botched his green flag pit stop, and then everything just went downhill from there. If this does come to that, which it's looking like it will, the most important thing that these drivers will have done all season could dedicate who wins this championship and who doesn't.
I hope these guys have practiced their green flag pit stops at the end of a long, aggressive run. Corey, you hear me talk about it week and week and time again, both on broadcast, off broadcast, when we're watching broadcast. Guys love to not practice the green flag pit stops. Now, Area doesn't seem to fall into that trap that most people get to, where they, if they're in a league, they will quote-unquote practice the green flag stops, but they just run a couple out laps really quick and then send it in and stop. And, they've got good fuel, they've got fresh Goodyear, great brakes. They haven't ran 40, 50 laps and then try to slam it in to the box accurately in the heat of the moment. Area seems like they do better. They do practice the longer stints and run and do everything, but right now, the pressure's on. I mean, you cannot afford to mess this up.
And Seth Noel under fire from Jake Nichols. He just has that long run pace. And again, we have just completely ignored Sebastian Marin, but it's to be expected. It doesn't matter what you do as a non-playoff driver in the Final Four. Fortunately, you're going to get ignored. It's just kind of the name of the playoffs here. It happens in the real world. Trying to rest, but Sebastian Marin leading this down. But the battle has been for second. And Nichols will get it back using that outside lane. Look at Jonathan Evans closing on in here. Mercurio, not sure what's up with him this stint. He's on the equal footing as everybody else tire-wise, but he's dropping to the back. I mean, can you potentially say, oh, is he trying? Is he trying?
I do believe he is trying. Let's see what happens here going through on board and coming around. Might have dipped the wheel there low, but
not even 7,000 RPMs.
Look at the wiggle.
Not even 7,000 RPMs. And not even hitting 180 miles an hour. And watch this battle as Seth Noel drops back. Not even barely hitting 7,000 RPM. Now let's look at Sebastian Marin, because he has the least to battle for in this mix. He's just going for funsies. And all right, now I'm wondering, does this truck even hit 7,000 RPMs?
Thought it did. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like I remember it hitting 7,000.
Garrett Conrath, let's check out his information here, because he's in the thick of it. Into the thick of it. I mean, I always thought these things hit about $180 here, so I can't quite tell if it's maybe just the back end of the run, or if something's going on. But off camera, we did not see the 16 truck. Did get allocated Rocky Boyd a 1-point incident. Not sure what it was exactly pertaining to, but something under green that was not to the admin's favoring, so that will add to his tally, but ultimately doesn't matter too much being in the end of the season. Garrett Conrath, he's in 7th, he has 6th, and he has Mercurio right in front of him. I am really trying to figure out what Mercurio figured out on the second half of this race, where he just magically found some speed.
Can I give you a secret? He may not have figured anything out. Then again, Mercurio's a much better skilled driver than me, so he's probably figured something out that I haven't. But definitely he has got it together right now. He's in a good position. And when did Conrath hit P6? Did we just skip over Conrath getting up into 6th place, and now he's in the mix in the battle of everything? I mean, like, where did he come from? Where this is all
caution, there goes the strategies.
Why?
I know. Well, let's put it this way. They'll get to race it out for the championship rather than putting it out. So I guess take your pick on which one you'd prefer here. But it looks like Tanner Bethea in the 73 is the unlucky driver. That was the 30 washing up the track. Wait, what? There's so much to unpack there. You'd think you just got back from vacation with your suitcase.
All right.
So 77 corner exit here. 30 washes up the track, saves it. All right, they're fine. Now, how did he get so sideways is my question.
Where did the Weeble Wobbles come from?
All right, they're straight. They're straight. Did he go down to block them, and then he got loose when they blocked, and then
I think that was I'm not going to call that intentional. I don't think it was. I think that was literally the 77 tried to drop for a cheeky block, lost control of his truck. The 30 reacted and tried to drop down to avoid the 77 out of control, and it just ended up 2 trucks in one place. That's my hot take on it.
Yeah, I think that's the one that gets you least in trouble here. I mean, it's not, just a lot happening, but what's happening now of more so importance is what could be the final stop of the race. Now they have 4 sets. This should be the 3rd stop for just about everybody. Jonathan Evans getting a good solid jump out of the pits, and then we have the playoff drivers there. Actually, first time we've seen that here today. 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutively.
Well, this is dangerous.
Now, what happened up front here? Did we have some stay-outers? Oh, we sure did. This ought to be interesting.
There's no way this goes well for them.
So this ought to be interesting here. You'll have to, get that blanket on here and just get comfy, because this is going to get good. And I don't know if Area sells blankets, but they do sell a lot of things, and you can visit shop.areairacing.com for high-quality merch at low prices. Shop from over 100 selections of t-shirts, hats, champion clothing, and other Area accessories. Easy to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. Shop.areairacing.com, making a concerted effort to segue into every ad read here today. I know that one was a little bit of a stretch, but still tried it.
That one was pretty good.
There was an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway, where there was no one's going to get it because it was like 25 years ago. But anyways, we are 1 to green. Brad Slaughter, David Weishart. Weishart has the pace. We have to, succumb to that. He has the pace. So that's why I am a little surprised that he made the call. Actually, this may be why. Because if you pull up the stint graphic here, he has already made 3 pit stops. So if on all 3 of those stops, we don't know for sure, but presuming that he took 4 tires on each stop, he only has 1 more set, and he presumably wants to have a strategy set to use later in the race if it avails.
He's got himself in a pickle. Those top 3 are going to just absolutely drop down the order as soon as this race goes green. I mean, it's not even going to be a case of making it through a few laps. I don't even think they're going to make it out of turn 2 still in the top 3
I don't even know if
here.
they'll get the green flag going, because we've already seen wheel spin on fresh tires, let alone seeing what could happen here on 20-plus lap old tires that are going to be at least a second and a half off the pace. So this ought to be a little bit scary, but you know, we'll sort it out together. And in that Geico restart zone, Mason Kane going to get on that loud pedal. How will we get up to speed? He will pretty well. Weishart's sleeping here. Gets stuck in the middle as Marin goes to the outside. And that really got Nichols in a bad spot. Weishart already in the wall.
Did he miss a gear? Did he miss an entire transmission? I mean, Weishart just not able to get going at all. And that 29, almost making the best decision he could have made. And
oh, look at the wiggle
there.
Marin lucked out by the skin of his teeth there, squeezing on the outside. And yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. He either spun the wheels consecutively or just he did miss a shift or something. But that obviously did not work out for Weishart. But now Seth Noel, here he goes, trying to get by the 26, Jonathan Evans. This is all on the same tire strat. Those drivers have sifted through. Mason Kane, he is on the bottom of now, what is that, 4 wide? He's dead sideways. We're wrecking on the back.
Ooh, I thought I saw a truck get up in the air a little bit, and I think it was the 35 there, potentially.
Sort things out here. You can see the wiggling. Oh, someone turned Garrett Grant, 35, kind of getting in the air there, but we'll have to sort out why Garrett Grant got done there turnted. Who's that?
So
That's Jalen Handcamp.
I almost just think this was a lot of trucks in a tight area off the exit.
Yeah, they
two.
were pushing 4 wide there. Get one more brief look at it. The top down came before the Jumbotron gets in the way. Yeah, the 35 on the bottom.
The 99 came up there.
And then not really any significant contact from anybody, but either way, that will...
I think it was just a lot of crap happened at once, honestly.
Absolutely. And Weishart, I mean, he would be very implored to want to take that extra set of tires now. He still hasn't. I mean, coming to 30 laps to go. But he will remain on the track. Again, he only has 1 set left, and he is going to relegate to using it here, which is a good call there. Doug DeNice also pitting. Who is that further ahead? Mason Kane. Obviously, he was on the struggle bus there. But and back to the front of the field, Jonathan Evans. Remember, he drove that 0-for-3 truck the second round of the playoffs, because he got knocked out of all 3 rounds of the area playoffs in race number 1. But that hasn't been indicative of his speed, as he is leading this thing down. And Seth Noel, who's led only 4 laps, is in that provisional championship spot.
The number 1 in a championship 1 right now, and putting himself in a great position as well for his team. So, honestly, if I was Noel, I would try to keep Sebastian Marin behind me, maybe put Jonathan Evans behind me, and just get to the point where you have as many trucks, even if it's just 1 or 2, get a truck or trucks between you and Brian Mercurio, so you don't have to think about it, and you can just try to focus ahead in the windshield and not through the back glass there. I think that'll get him in a much better mindset, better position to run through. It's a hard spot to be in, though, if you're him.
Absolutely the case there. And lap number 85 incident that we saw from various angles being deemed a racing incident from up top. So mean, it was a lot to unpack there, so kind of hard to dissect, but either way, nobody getting the ding for there because there was so much to dissect, hard to pinpoint it on one soul there. But we are going to come to 1 to green. Let's see how they line up. Of course, not a choose cone. It is dictated by just your regular positioning. Though the leader does have the lane choice. He'll stick to the bottom, does the 26. And Mercurio will be pushing Noel. And then Garrett Conrath, highest he's been all day. I mean, if you're going to be behind anyone right now, follow that pink number 23.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably going to be the biggest blessing for Conrath to be in that position he's in here. We'll see how it plays out on the restart. Will there be wheel spin? Will everybody get away well? Will Marin just get the absolute send of all sins on this restart? Which, if you've watched Area this long in the season, you know, since round 1, we're all the way into round 17, the finale, you know how Sebastian Marin drives. You know he's going to get a great restart. It's just a matter of do the other guys around him get a good enough restart to hold him back, which is doable. It's plausible. It could happen, but only one way to find out, and honestly, ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Sebastian Marin wants the race win. He wants the confidence to go into Thursday night. But he knows what's at stake, and he already knows not to put his truck in those super risky spots. But he's certainly going to do everything he can to put that 23 in victory lane. But we also have a bunch of other hungry drivers looking to do that as course of our Championship 4 as well. But we'll head into that restart zone. Get on the loud pedal once again. Jonathan Evans will get that whole shot, and he will clear Seth Noel. A respectable job from the outside in row number 2 with the push from Mercurio.
Everybody gets through 1 and 2 here in the front, looking good. There's so many things riding on these front 5. Just watching through. Marin goes high here, blocks Noel. Noel pushing through, coming around. Evans in the mix as well. That 49.
Oh no, we're wrecking in the back. Who's that? Someone into the fence there. Oh, that's Justin Anasogak. He kissed the wall there in some small capacity through turn number 4. We'll quickly check that out on our Hendry County replay. Watch that number 88 amp energy truck get the little shove from Rocky Boyd. Little root scooting boogie, as we used to call it here. But back to live footage, and Seth Noel looking for the race lead. Sebastian Marin was all the way apron riding there. Not sure how he got into that spot. The side-by-side Nichols and Mercurio. That is for second in the championship picture. Seth Noel is leading that picture right now, and Garrett Conrath has gotten up to the second place in the championship run, and he's looking for more.
Conrath here going to be making you eat your words if he has his say on it here. Watch this as he goes through down around with Noel there, and he's going to drop the inside. Does he get the pass on Noel? Coming around, he's got the 73 for company. Jake Nichols behind. Maybe going to try to give him some help. Maybe not going to help him. I mean, honestly, if I am Nichols, I'm sticking behind Conrath. Conrath with a head of steam here going through. They're behind Evans, and behind that, Sebastian Marin dropping beside Philip Groner. And I think everybody from 6th place back, get your popcorn out, because there's a show on the hands ahead.
This is the championship right here, right in this shot. 2 by 2 here, with now 28 coming to 27 laps to go. Garrett Conrath trying to use it. Now Jonathan Evans is on the outside. That may be a disadvantage for Seth Noel, because he may get put onto a pick here, essentially. But now Conrath's going to go and have him to the inside. I don't think that 26 knows where he wants to go. Of course, I've been writing off Conrath all race, and even last week, you put Seth Noel on the thumbnail of this video, the old pseudo Madden curse. So who knows where the commentator's curse or commentator's blessing is going to come into play here. But Conrath's losing the spot here on the inside now, kind of stuck there as the 73 and 82 will push to the outside.
And then keep in mind, Mercurio's been the dominating force all season as well. So, I mean, Mercurio, you would argue coming in, if you had asked me any race before the last one, I would have said Mercurio was the guy to beat. But Mercurio here recent weeks, I mean, he's been strong, he's been consistent, but just not at the front dominating, and it's not for account of Sebastian Marin. He's just not been up in the front dominating. It feels like here in recent weeks, just things have kind of been where they've been. Let's kind of see where things play out tonight, though, because again, there's no do-overs and there's no more races after tonight. It's nothing but what could have been, what would have been if you don't have it together. But while they battle that up front and they keep it 2x2, they keep it scary back in the back. Guys are thinking about going 3 wide. They want a great final result here in the Area Truck Series. They want a great run to set up for the next season, whenever that may be. I've already seen drivers being negotiated over pizza and brownies, trying to shape up some new teams for the next season whenever it goes. So these guys are racing again for a lot more than just the position and, the points. They're racing for potential next season contracts with different teams. They want what they want. Let's see who gets it.
Yeah, of course, Area has the charter system, and a certain amount of teams able to get charters, and teams already locked up. There's a waiting list to even be eligible to race in any of these series. So a very upper echelon series that has a lot of reputation and a lot of great racing, a lot on the line here. So drivers want to be involved, and again, we wait that Season 8 announcement to figure out that details potentially in due course. But we are deciding a championship here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coming down to 20 laps to go here on PTR TV. Corey and Brad give you the calls here for the final time in 2025 for this series. The Truck Series will be live on Thursday night to decide the Florida State Builders Pro Series Championship here. But now we go for the race win, and we're going for the race win and going for the championship. Noel looking for the outside. He wants to get both, but Jake Nichols, with the long run pace that he's had all race, he's trying to get it, and Mercurio sniffing the back of him.
I still watch for that 49 of Conrath to come with a run here late on, even though he's dropped back towards the clutches of Sebastian Marin. I don't discount him out yet as we go through, heading towards 21 laps to go when they cross the line here shortly. Going through, Mercurio diving down low yet again, looking just where he can. Marin's now cleared Conrath, I believe, and is up into that P5 position, and maybe Marin's just been saving for a while, and is going to go ahead, shuffle these guys back another position here and set themselves up as they go side by side up front. Nichols Noel still trying to chase down Evans.
Yep, he clears them now. Nichols has the spot. Noel, I didn't know if he was going to go for a crossover, but he decided to just give him the push for now. And look at Marin, that bright pink truck. He is ripping the high side tighter than anybody that we've seen all race. Will the advantageous momentum come from that? I'll give it a yes. He has a head of steam. He's not going to rip it in the grass like I think it was that Conrath did, if I'm not mistaken, but he's going to get closer than he's been. And here comes a 73. He's trying to rip the top, get the run for the race lead. A little wiggle off the corner, has so much momentum. Looking low, now looking high, looking low again. For the race lead is Nichols.
Yeah, Evans is saying, I don't care if you're a playoff driver. I don't care what you are. I'm going to block you. I'm going to run. I want the race win. I don't really care. This is mine. But Jake Nichols is going to have something to say about it here. Diving down the inside, down into turn one. Going to go side by side and into one at least. He'll clear. Can he hold it is the big question. And what does Mercurio do here with Seth Noel behind? And I think it was Seth Noel who went through the grass earlier. I don't anticipate him doing that again, as much as that was such a cool move here. Here we go. Still not clear. Jonathan Evans, at least for the moment, still just barely holding on to that lead.
Now Jonathan Evans in that precarious spot that every driver hates to be in. He wants to win, but the championship is on the table, and Mercurio says if somebody else can go through the grass, I can do it too. He goes to the bottom. They're 3 abreast for the lead. Nichols pinching him down. Evans trying to keep the run off the top. He wants the race win for 3 wide, gets the momentum, gives the shove to Nichols, and Mercurio keeps the third spot.
I almost think Mercurio lifted the throttle out of that. Just, I have a feeling he said, oh, no, I want no part of that. Lifted out. Great decision there. Conrath has gotten ahead of Seth Noel now, up in the 4th place as we're down under 20 to go, 19 to go, 18 to go now as they go through. And watch Conrath here, your championship 4 in the top 5. Jonathan Evans, the odd man out here in that 26. That A10 Warthog just wanted to drop a bomb here, get a win, and then say, you know what, y'all figure out the collateral damage behind behind.
Exactly that here, and through that mix that we were watching, they're having some frolics back there.
What was Chilcutt doing?
Yeah, Chilcutt has not been afraid to have some fun here today, and Rocky Boyd has already had a 1-point incident here today. Doesn't need to add to that tally. But he's trying to. They're both going at it, but they're also going at it. Mercurio going for the race lead. Noel starting to go on the Alicia Keys tour. He is starting to keep on falling. I almost forgot my own joke there. But here comes Garrett Conrath. He's looking to the inside of Jonathan Evans. We haven't really got to see for an entire run what that 49 truck is made of. We know the 73 has some solid long run pace, but is Conrath even that to the next degree? Has he really been just saving, and is he going to put it into overdrive here and try to go for that race win and race championship win?
He needs to. That would be such a big run for him.
Here he goes.
If he can do that.
Oh, squeeze 3 wide here off the corner. They fizzled down.
They are not done. This is, I hate to say it, but this has the makings to be just an intense championship battle. And I will say, I love area. I love everything here as Mercurio looks for the inside of Nichols. The trucks have had some of the best finishes this season.
Now, like I said, you don't want this thing to be decided on who does their damage repair fastest with a beat-up truck. We don't want to have an absolute anarchy of a finish here. But right now, all 3 are in it, and not too far back is Seth Noel. So if there is a absolute catastrophic event, realistically, all 4 of them could be in it here. But Noel starting to drop back. Here comes Conrath going to the top. He's trying to wind up the null here, and he's going to let it go here on corner exit and watch it run. That's the momentum off the top. And we've seen them cut the dog leg already, but he won't do it this time, trying to figure out where to go. Do I go to the bottom? Do I go to the top? I think the top is the place to go. Mercurio will run the white line. He'll clear, but watch the momentum form on corner exit.
Watch this run here. I mean, what do you do if you're Mercurio? You sort of just sit between the two and say, you know what, I'll hold this here. Don't give Nichols enough room to go high, but don't give Conrath a lot of room to go
Seth
low.
Noel
Nichols
on the
now
fence.
dropping behind. Oh, Seth Noel, I think he just burned out too much too early in this run. 13 laps to go as they cross the line. Noel continuing to drop back. So you have a 3-truck battle up front. And Garrett Conrath looking up the inside here. He's going to go for the run for the lead. 19th to 2nd. Can he get first? Well, down the backstretch, he looks like he can. Into 3. Here we go. There's a bit of room. Mercurio will defend low. And it looks like right now Conrath just slowly reeling it in. Slowly reeling it in.
Now remember, Mercurio 30th to 1st. Conrath, 19th or whatever it was to 2nd. He's looking to the inside right now. Mercurio's going to pinch him down, kind of block that dive bomb, that haymaker move as Marin is running the Harry Gant line right up against the fence. Nearly some contact off the corner there as the 82 trying to keep the momentum down for the 49. Does that successfully. 49 changes lanes. He's going to go back to the top, try to wind it on up and try to let it loose, but didn't get a good enough run that time.
Like a controversial statement here, and it's of no offense to anyone here. I would argue that Garrett Conrath is the underdog of this championship. 15 starts this season, only 1 win last week, but only 6 top 5s and 10 top 10s. Least amount of top 5s, least amount of top 10s of anyone in this championship 4. But by golly, you can tell why he's in the championship 4 right now. A little bit of luck and a lot of bit of skill. That's what it takes to make it in this run. Down the inside, he goes out of 3, out of 4. He's going to hold the inside. He'll cross the line. 10 laps to go. Garrett Conrath officially leads a lap.
He might have it here. He's enough where I think he can send and clear, but Mercurio is going to send it for all it's worth there to the outside. He's going to keep right posted to that right rear quarter panel, just enough to get him. Oh my God, he may have been clear by a millimeter, but he's going to go to the bottom, try to evade any kind of a side draft. It just takes a little bit of push to get the clearing, but Mercurio driving for his life trying to maintain that position.
I mean, Mercurio's not going to go down without a fight. I would argue this is David and Goliath. I say Conrath is probably the underdog of this championship for Mercurio is the one you look at the stat sheet and you kind of say, okay, why has he not run away with it?
Take the top, take the top, take the top, take the top. You're clear. There he goes. Garrett Conrath to the lead, but the momentum is coming back, and here comes the crossover. Here comes Sebastian Marin. Where does he put himself into this mix? Does he go for the win? Does he let him go? He doesn't want to cause an incident. He wants to run. He gets into the wall. Conrath gets a little bit loose, and here comes another crossover move to the inside.
Great move here to the inside, and Conrath will be scored as leading that lap by 8/1000ths of a second here. Goes through into one. He's going to still hold it low here through 1 and 2. He needs to get up. He needs to be running midline, I think, going through, and he'll come up a lot earlier there, clear it through. Still the wiggle, and here comes Mercurio again, going to go for the dive down into 3, and Conrath, second verse, same as the first, buddy. Let him cross it and then cross it back.
If he can keep him pinched down, it's very, very hard to make that work through 3 and 4 as Mercurio washes up contact nearly into the fence, actually into the fence. Some contact that worked up for Mercurio. Luckily, Conrath didn't get in too aggressively there, but that cost him the run from the outside. Is it enough for Conrath to be able to fall back in line? No, he keeps the momentum. Huge slide from Mercurio to the bottom. And who will Marin go with?
If you're Marin, I don't know if you want to pick either of them at this point. I think you sit back and you just let this thing play out. You do not want to get in the mix of this. Side by side out of 4, Conrath, Mercurio, and again, Conrath on the uncomfortable line, Mercurio on an uncomfortable line. I don't think Mercurio likes the inside. I don't think Conrath likes the outside. Here we go through 1 and 2. A bit of a run down on the entry, but on the exit, the 49 is going to get the run again. So watch this here. Going through, wiggle from Mercurio. He clears it. Marin switches back through. Now Marin says, you two figure it out. I want the lead. I'll take the win. Y'all figure the championship out behind me.
This is the most important thing to happen for the 49 because now he has some breathing room. Sebastian Marin, if he wins the race, it doesn't matter. But what it does for Mercurio is it forces him to get on the wheel, use a little bit of tire, or not, because that's going to be the gentleman-like thing to do. You guys battle for this. Maybe I can take advantage of this. We saw Kyle Larson do it in about 2017 at Homestead. Had the fastest car, but didn't put himself in the battle for the win. He let the guys go at it. You can question whether or not the integrity is there behind that, but you know, you want to be the sportsman, and that's what Marin is doing here. But Conrath has a chance to take that deep breath, let the heart rate go down, take an analysis of what's at play here. If I don't get loose, if I could play defense on the top, he is going to have a Herculean feat to pass me on the bottom.
You got to just wait and see what happens here as it goes through. Mercurio now back up into second here, holding on where they can. Don't count out Jake Nichols in fourth. I will say that 73. And Seth Noel has started to reel things in as well. He's closing the gap as well. Slowly but surely, what will Seth Noel be able to pull off here? As he's got that What's on Tap truck back behind him with Pacioli. He's got Groner ahead, and then Evans, and then he gets up in the mix. Coming through, it almost looks like Mercurio is worried more about defending against Marin than he is about attacking Conrath, and with 3 laps to go, that could prove problematic.
Well, I'd say the opposite. I'd say at this point, I think Marin is trying to say, go at it. Let's have a battle. I don't want you to fall back. I want this to look good. I want you to have a chance for this championship. Mercurio with the 4 wins this season, dominating the race and coming towards the end. You know, now it's 3/10. Now if you're Conrath, you're just saying no caution, no caution, no caution. And now Marin looking to the inside. How aggressive is he going to be with the move? 3 miles left at Charlotte. If you're Conrath, you're looking pretty now, but you got to get to that white before you can be too confident.
This is going to be such a Herculean moment to see what happens. Conrath winning his first race of the season last season, coming back from 30th when it counted to come through again. Mercurio, the Goliath of the run here. He's had 4 wins this season, dominating all the way through. White flag's out. It's 1 lap to settle it, and right now David's in the lead.
A season of running, a competitive season, but not a dominant season. Didn't get the first win until the penultimate race of the season. Ran the entire race in the back, had to come from the back last week. had us thinking that the truck didn't have the pace, but he found the pace mid-race. He drove himself to the front. He's going to get 2 back-to-back wins on the season, and the second of the 2 is going to get him the championship. Garrett Conrath wins the Area Truck Series Season 7 title. Sebastian Marin puts himself in the middle of the sandwich there, gets the position over Brian Mercurio. The 4 wins on the season will only have to cement to second on the final running tally there. And then you have Seth Noel, who, where did he fall to on the list here? I don't even see him. He fell back to 26. Something happened to him. But full congratulations have to go to Conrath. We rode him out last week. I rode him out last week, hitting the wall. He got himself in position. He was in 8th place, had to win the race, came through clutch. But today, he did it on pure speed and merit, as those Hendry County boys, low dollar racing, giving him his accredited congratulations.
Burn it down. Now that is well deserved. Hendry County getting one of their own up here on top where it goes, and a little bit of checking in behind the scenes as well of how things went, trying to get an idea. I do believe that 609 also topped Coast to Coast, if I'm not wrong. I'll verify that here shortly, but I think that is how the team championship ended up as well. But for that 49 of Garrett Conrath, I mean, what a final race. Early in the race, we were counting him out and saying he's a bit back, but patience, persistence, wow.
Absolutely the case here. It's why you have to watch to the checkered flag. Garrett Conrath getting the race win, getting the Season 7 championship. Sebastian Marin gets himself in the middle. He's going for it on Thursday night. He gets a second here today with Brian Mercurio. The dominator on the season just fell a little bit short here today, but an amazing run nonetheless. Jake Nichols, we thought he had the long run pace, but it just fell off a little bit too much there in the very end. Groner with the 5th. Jonathan Evans, he had some speed in 6th. Pacioli, Kuntz, Mason Kane, and Rocky Boyd with the 10th here today. There, Brad.
Going on from there, Tanner Bethea in P11. Danny Ware, well, where did he find himself? He found himself to P12. Josh Parrish, P13. Garrett Grant in 14th. Joshua Ballet, P15. Alex Chilcutt, great run up front, but in the end, runs it out into P16. Jeremy Brown, P17. Travis Beckner in 18th place. Jalen Handcamp, P19. And Bryce Sinisak finds 20th place here.
And we'll round out our page of results here. We got Tyler Hallman, Ben Pierce, Casey Licata's 23rd, Doug DeNice in 24th, David Weishart 25th. Don't know what happened to Seth Noel, but fell back to 26th. Then we have Anna Sogak, Fisher, Batby, Miller, and Batby rounding things out. We have Slaughter, Love, Waterworth, and Servideo. Everybody else either didn't take time or was out very early in the race. But we will head to victory lane. Brad, I'll take this because I was the one that counted him out twice, and he did it. Garrett Conrath, I counted you out last week. You came through and surprised me. You'll rewatch this broadcast. I was counting you out early. I said you didn't have the speed. He's putting around in the mid-teens. Halfway, you put it into 5th gear, man. You drove to the front. You battled the best. You won the championship, man. What do you have to say to me? And ultimately, how are you feeling tonight, man?
I guess I just got that clutch gene in me. We had a yellow there towards the end. Those last 2 yellows, basically. I short fueled it a little bit, so it helped the handling of the truck because full of fuel, the thing was loose, but lower fuel, it was nice and neutral, and just kept the tires on it there and had a hell of a battle with Brian there, so props to him because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely won that champion. You guys were going at it, some door taps to be had, but I assume you kind of knew that if I can stay on the top and if I can keep him in position on that outside lane, it was really going to be super hard to make that inside lane work, and you held it true. How much pressure was it? How difficult was it not getting too loose and not letting him clear you from the bottom?
I'm sweating like I've never sweated before in a sim race before because, I knew once I cleared him there, if I just hold the top, he wasn't going to be able to get by me. His tires are a little bit worse for wear than mine. And holy cow, I can't believe it.
And 2 wins all season. Mercurio had 4. You get 2 wins. How does it feel to get your only 2 wins of the season being the final 2. That must be just kind of the icing on the cake.
It all clicked at the right time. I mean, last week was obviously strategy, but I mean, just to put it together the last 2 weeks, that's when it matters. So in this format, that's what you got to do.
Absolutely, man. Well, I mean, I'll give you, I know you got a laundry list of guys to thank for getting you in this position, so have the floor.
Thanks, Travis and Low Dollar Racing, for bringing me on this season here in area, and Nexus Esports and Hendry County Motorsports Park.
All right, man. Well, obviously we are still waiting the future in Season 8 when that's going to be, but you'll come into it being the reigning truck champion, man. So congrats, and go celebrate, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. It was a good season.
Absolutely. And second in the race, and he'll prep for a Thursday championship, but you have caught up, Brad, with Sebastian Marin.
Sebastian Marin started 5th, finished 2nd. Great run up front. How you feeling, man? Ended up in 2nd place when it's all said and done.
Obviously a little disappointed. I did feel like I was the best truck out there all night. But overall, I can't be too disappointed. I obviously didn't want to be a huge influence to the championship, the Drivers' Championship there at the end. So I was trying to be, patient with them, see what they would do. And they're at the end trying to give Mercurial pushes, see if he can get back to Garrett. And once I felt like his tires were gone, I was just like, well, try to get second. I know if the race was longer, I for sure had the pace to get up to Garrett and battle him for the win. But again, like I said, just wanted to treat those guys with respect, because they're obviously fighting for something. I'm here part-time. So overall a good day. Obviously very happy for Garrett. He's a Nexus teammate of mine. He's a very great guy, so happy for him. And overall a good night, and hopefully this is good fortune for Thursday, which hopefully I can close out the deal there. But overall a good day.
And it was a lot of fun to watch through. Obviously, your big goal is Thursday. Is there anything from tonight that you're going to be taking into Thursday?
There was a few things. Obviously, I'm not going to spill the beans there, but there were some few things. We'll kind of have to see how the Xfinity car behaves, if those things will apply. But I think it definitely helped a little bit. So definitely going to keep my mouth shut and hope it helps him for Thursday.
Awesome, man. And before we let you out of the booth, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out?
Just shout out to you guys for putting on this broadcast now that this is the season finale. So thank you guys for doing this. Thank you for Area putting on this league. I love the trucks. The truck series has been a blast all season long. Shout out to Garrett for him winning the Drivers' Championship. Happy for him. And shout out for my team, LVV Racing, for letting me participate and run for their team. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Congrats on the 2nd place, and we'll see how you do Thursday night, man. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
All right, and now I will round up the guy who most of the bets would have went on him all coming into the race. Had a Herculean battle there with Garrett, but 4 wins on the season, almost making it 5, man. The tires in the inside lane just not going to your advantage there. You have to settle ultimately for a 3rd, 2nd in the championship picture. What's the range of emotions right now on how that last 20 laps fared?
Man, it was kind of tough. Talking to Sebastian and Garrett here afterwards, I think even Jake too. A lot of these guys took a little bit of fuel out just because we were getting real loose there. Real happy with the rear end, and I was on full fuel, so I had way more than them. And then when you're just out front, I got around Garrett. I got to the lead with like 11 to go, but clean air and more fuel. And then Garrett on low fuel and the dirty air, he was able to just kind of stick with me the whole time, and he got right back to me. And I did a Herculean effort to try to hold him off, but with having the low fuel, he was able to just kind of move everywhere. He can go bottom, he can go top, he can kind of keep up with me, and it was kind of a matter of time until he got around me. So kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Really thought I had a chance there. Maybe a little goof on my part. I mean, the whole race started with a goof of me thinking it was 2 laps in qualifying. So it was an uphill climb from the drop of the green flag, and I saw 11 to go, and I was P1. Tried to hold off Garrett, and just didn't work out.
Yeah, well, you just answered one of my questions. It was going to ask why you had to start in the back, but obviously that answers that question. But I mean, obviously the NASCAR playoffs and how we emulate there, this has been the big topic in the racing world this past week. And someone like you who has kind of been the dominator on this Truck Series season, how do you kind of compartmentalize, I finished second, but I didn't win. I had the best season. How do you kind of put that into racing terms of, I feel like I probably earned it, but the way it worked out, it wasn't mine. How do you process that?
Man, if it was something like, Garrett finished off, or even Seth or Jake finished off in the sunset, and I was all the way back in Narnia, that would have been one thing, but I gave a hell of an effort to try to keep it up there, and I raced as hard as I could. So, Garrett deserved it. He's had an unbelievable stretch here, between making it work on fuel at Auto Club and getting himself into the championship 4, and then having an absolutely fantastic drive tonight. So you got to give credit where credit's due. I haven't won since the playoffs started, and since the playoffs have started, Garrett's won the last 2 races. So he had all the momentum in the world, and he's had an incredible season as well. Hats off to Jake and Seth too for making it a really fun and competitive season. Yeah. Fun and competitive night as well. We were all racing each other. Once I got up to the top 5, top 10, we were near each other the entire rest of the race. So it sucks a little bit too. And also there were I don't know if you guys caught it, but there was also 2 last lap passes there. Sebastian passing me and Philip passing Evans that I'm pretty sure was a 4-point swing in favor of 609 to win the team championship, because we were both tied coming in. Yep. So
we got
the team championship came down to the very last lap, and the championship came down to the last 10 laps. So honestly, you guys up in the broadcast booth really could not have asked for any more. There was a ton of action, a ton of excitement to follow all race long.
Absolutely. We were at the edge of our seats, and 2 points was the 2 points was the final margin there in the team championship. And as you said, Conrad kind of going Tony Stewart 2011 with that playoff clutch run there, and is what it is for you, but a solid run. You can't be upset about the end result ultimately, but who do you want to give a shout out to for your season 7 efforts?
Big shout out to Jake Fisher, Timmy Pacioli for sticking with me, being able to run every race this season. Gabe couldn't make it tonight, but he's ran almost every other race this season so far. Sean's made starts for us for Coast to Coast this season too, and it was fun. I really enjoyed racing here. This is a new environment for me, new league. There was a bunch of familiar faces. Jake, Seth, Sebastian, Conrad. A bunch of these guys I've raced with for a while, and but generally this league is a new place for me. So to come in here and have our group be super competitive in both the driver and the team championship all year long, it was a lot of fun. Wish I could have sealed the deal at the end of it, but to be able to run all season, know that I was in the hunt, know that I was competitive almost every race, all season long. It was just a ton of fun. All our partners over at Coast to Coast, Rebel Rabbit, High Seltzer, Paul Fod Racing, the New York, New Jersey NASCAR Club, for allowing us to do this. It's a lot of fun. All the guys at Area for putting this league together, Jacob and all the other admins, you guys for putting on the broadcast every week. Hope it was good tonight. And yeah, like I said, it just you always come back to it. It's so easy for me to just end these sentences with wish I could have gotten it done, but it was fun. And if it wasn't for someone like my position or in Jake and Seth's position to be able to be here and to race hard, y'all wouldn't have had a good broadcast, for a good race for everyone to watch. So I'm glad I had a little bit of a part in making this season and the season finale really, really fun. I appreciate all you guys do, and if we have another season of this, maybe I'll show up. We'll see.
Yeah, we're all waiting for the if. We had a fun season covered, and we want more, so we're just waiting for that word. And but either way, man, we'll let you go and kind of soak in this season and the efforts, but keep your head high. You deserved it.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for everything you've done this year.
All right, Brad. So that'll round out our post-race show, I think. Asterisk. There is somebody else down there, but we're good.
believe we're good.
Okay.
Yes.
So, again, wraps up a great season, a great race. Conrath, again, came out of the woodwork. We had written him off. Well, I'll say me. I wrote him off last week. He came through. He didn't run good all race. He drove up to the front. He held off. What did Bubba say? To be the best, you have to beat the best, and that is what he did, beating Marin and Mercurio.
I don't think you could have wrote this in a storybook if you tried. It's honestly been such a good run. Looking at this season as a whole, I mean, all the way back in Daytona, all the way to now, such a great run here for season 7. Again, nobody really knows what the future plans are at the moment. That will come in due course, but I mean, season 7 has been an absolute banger, and regardless of what future plans may or may not be, we got a good season out of this.
Absolutely the case here. Again, our victory interviews brought to you by Victory Fuel. You can celebrate the championship and the race win with Garrett Conrath with a can of Victory Fuel. Grab your Throttle Punch Purple Potion Lucky Lemon Charge with electrolytes packed with vitamins and kid-friendly. Get 10% off your order with the code AREA iRacing at checkout. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe here on PTR TV. We will be live tomorrow night with Elbows Out Racing. We'll be back here for the Florida State Pro Builders Championship on Thursday night, and then we will round out another season with the playoffs in Triple Bypass Monday, and then we will await the future of Area. Had some fun, and hope you guys watched, and maybe you'll tune into PTR TV in the future. But that's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth for season 7 of the Truck Series. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Oh, yeah.